let's address this right away. This game owes more than just a few shillings to Dark Souls. In fact, it is one of the more blatantly derivative titles I've played in some time. But, if you're going to copy, you might as well steal from the best. I mean, let's take a look at some of the concepts it lifts directly from FromSoft's seminal dark fantasy RPG series. Bonfires, souls lost upon death, which must be retrieved before dying for a second time, or else they're gone for good. Intricate levels that unfurl back into themselves by way of cleverly placed shortcuts. Stamina that needs to be constantly watched, lest it means you're doomed, due to being unable to attack or dodge. This is one area where Nioh makes some clever deviations from Souls, which I will get to in a moment. The way you level up individual stats one by one, such as strength, stamina, skill, etc., by way of your accumulated souls. Levels punctuated with a highly difficult boss that tests your skills, not to mention the difficult enemies that litter the levels. There are even trap plates that, when stepped on, shoot a succession of 3 arrows out of a wall, hoping to catch you unawares. Even many of the items that you acquire have exact parallels into the Soul titles. I could go on, but you get the idea. So now that we know where the game gets its inspiration, how does it set itself apart? Mainly in its extremely deep combat mechanics. This is a Team Ninja game after all, and Ninja Gaiden DNA has absolutely been infused into Nioh. First of all, every weapon type, of which there are several, such as katanas, axes, staffs, and the like, have 3 different stances: low, medium, and high. All 3 stances have advantages or disadvantages, depending on the situation at hand. Low stance is good for a quick flurry of attacks that may not do much damage, but will also not spend much stamina. Medium gives more damage for a higher increase in stamina consumption. High is high damage, high stamina consumption. All 3 have unique movesets that can be expanded upon even further by way of unlocking them via skill points that you acquire for accomplishing certain feats, such as killing a certain amount of spiders or getting a certain amount of critical hits. It all comes together in such a way that makes it quite possibly one of the deepest combat systems of any game ever. This is absolutely the game's greatest strength. Unfortunately, the enemy variety is severely lacking compared to Dark Souls. It gets tiring fighting the same foot soldiers for what seems like the 1000th time, using the same strategy as all the battles that came before. This is the game's biggest weakness. It has this amazing battle system, but doesn't provide you with interesting enemies to use it against. Unlike Souls, where every new area has unique enemies with an occasional throwback enemy from an area before, Nioh has the inverse. Always the same enemies with an occasional new enemy that is rarely used again. This is a serious flaw and really gives the game a sense of deflation over time. Oh great, this fucking guy again. Wow, I'm in Region 5, 40 hours in, and this guy is still out for blood, huh? Also, the areas in which the enemies inhabit are not nearly of the same quality as Souls titles. Nor are they connected in ingenious ways. You simply select the levels from a map screen, which makes the game feel decidedly less epic. It all feels very gamey. This may not be a problem for some, but this happens to be Dark Souls' greatest strength. Epic, intertwined worlds, and when Nioh is taking so much from Souls, it seems fair to me to make direct comparisons. Nioh simply can't compete in this category. Next up, bosses. Fuck the bosses in this game. Out of the 20 or so that I have defeated, I have only enjoyed 2 or 3. They are bullshit. Either ludicrously difficult or pathetically easy. Absolutely no in-between. The first boss is the hardest in the game. I died upwards of 20 times on him, which really made me wary of the rest of the game. But no boss since has provided me with nearly the same level of challenge. Why front-load the difficulty? One boss in particular, Water Blob Dude, was absolutely no fun whatsoever. Repetitive moveset, boatload of health. When I beat him, I didn't feel euphoria at overcoming an exciting and challenging battle. I felt relief that I would never have to fight such a tedious asshole ever again. It sounds like I hate this game, and in a way, I do, but it definitely has its merits. When you're fighting a competent enemy using your vast moveset and just barely eke out a victory, it is satisfying to say the least. Some levels definitely stand tall above the rest, and provide ample fun exploring their environs, such as the Spider Castle, or a ninja castle that plays gravity flipping tricks on the player. These were a blast to explore, with some great bosses. This is the exception rather than the rule, unfortunately. All too many levels share similar aesthetics and simple, flat geometry. They start to blend together. Very unlike Souls, where the excitement to see what lies ahead pulls at you to keep playing. Nioh simply doesn't accomplish this. Another area where Nioh differentiates itself is in the loot system. It's basically Diablo, color-coded and all. You will constantly be finding new equipment from random enemies or chests scattered throughout levels. It is definitely fun picking something up with a blue upward-facing arrow, letting you know that it improves upon your current equipment. This also has a negative impact on another aspect of the gameplay, the blacksmith. Why would you upgrade your weapon, which requires a ludicrous amount of money, when in 30 minutes you will just find something better? Very puzzling. Seeing all my thoughts written out like this, it really seems like I hate this game, but I just keep wanting to play it. So it is at least somewhat of a good game. There are just too many flaws for me to consider it a great one, however. It is entirely leaning on Dark Souls' formula, almost as if they stole the skeleton completely, just merely tried to put their own muscles on. The problem is, those muscles just aren't as strong as Souls. The enemy variety is severely lacking, the levels are samey and uninspired, and the bosses are awful. All of these aspects bring the game down several notches from greatness, leaving it with a 6 out of 10.